Hello and welcome to another episode of Demystifying Hindu philosophy, mythology, and rituals. Today, I'd like to talk about how the worship of Trimurti, the three aspects of the divine intelligence. In another video, I've talked about the three aspects of the God principle, and if you want, you can watch that to learn more about it. But today, I'd like to focus on how we are advised to worship the three aspects of the divine intelligence. In our philosophy, the three aspects are called Shrishti, Sthiti, and Pralaya. So, Shrishti is creation, Sthiti is sustenance, and Pralaya is dissolution. So, in its creative potential aspect, the divine intelligence is called Brahma. In its role as the sustainer, it is called Vishnu, and in its role as the in its dissolution aspect, it is called Shiva. So there is a Puranic story where sage Bhrigu or Rishi Bhrigu cursed Brahma that he will not be worshipped in the form of a murti. And he cursed Shiva that he will only be worshipped in the form, or mostly be worshipped in the form of a linga. And he deemed it fit that Vishnu should be worshipped directly and in various forms. Now let us try to understand the significance behind this. So Brahma, the creative aspect of the divine intelligence itself has is associated with three things. It is associated with the Vedas, it is associated with Omkara, and it's associated with the creative principle. Brahma in his aspect as the Vedas can be worshipped, but not as a murti. Although sometimes you see Brahma with the four heads, and that refers to the Vedas, and in some places you have that murti. So Vedas is to be worshipped. There is no prescription against it, because Vedas are divine knowledge about the ultimate reality, and it is not given by any human being, but it is an aspect of the divine intelligence. The second aspect is the Omkara, which is the Om. It is the primordial sound, and in Hinduism, and as also in many other religions, it is believed that the manifest universe was created from vibration of sound. And that is why we refer to it as Shabda Brahma or Nada Brahma. Then there is a third aspect to the creative principle. It is the creative principle. The third aspect of Brahma is the creative principle, where the mythology talks about the Prajapatis and the Prajas. And this is the aspect of the creative principle that we are advised not to worship in the form of a murti, or not to worship. And what is worship? Worshipping means to connect with it and to emulate it. So we are advised not to connect with and emulate with too much, or with the creative principle. And let us try to understand. Because the creative principle, what is the creative principle? First, there is a lead thought, which is called Prajapati. And then that lead thought generates many, many thoughts and actions, which are called the Prajas. So the Prajapati is, let's say we want to create wealth. The prajas would be, how do we create wealth? Where do I go to study? What should I study? Where should I work? How should I work? How do I multiply my wealth? So these are the prajas. Now, if we don't stop and think what we are creating, why we are creating, what is the purpose of what we are creating? Is it taking us towards ultimate truth and ultimate reality, or it is taking us away from it? It can cause a problem and lead to destruction and our detriment. In fact, in its creative principle, it is similar to the principle of, or the concept of cancer, not knowing where to stop. The cells keep growing. I mean, cell growth is good, but not knowing where to stop and where it becomes detrimental, that aspect of the creative principle, we are advised not to create a murti and focus on it and keep creating, because excessive creation is good. Only create as much as is necessary. Excessive creation is detrimental. Now, what is the dissolution principle? Dissolution principle can be associated with death. Now, if you're not aware of death or in denial of death, it is stupidity. But to be constantly obsessing with death, we cannot do anything. And by death, I am not only talking about our being, our physical being, even of an idea. I mean, we must know that ideas come and ideas last, and then ideas go, and then there is always a regeneration of better ideas. We cannot get obsessed with creating a certain, being attached to a certain ideas, or at the beginning of the idea, we cannot keep thinking this idea will die. So keeping death in the background, being aware of it, but keeping in the background is good, but not having it in our face, constantly obsessing with death, won't help us to create anything or do anything. That is why Shiva we have been advised to worship or connect with the death principle or dissolution principle as the form of linga. Lingam is like lina artham gamayate is lingam, and lina means dissolved, semi-dissolved, but not quite. It is there, but not there in your face. The meaning is there, but not in your face, not in the forefront. Now, Vishnu, what is the Vishnu principle? The Vishnu principle is the sthiti, the sustenance of. This is connecting to the now, the present, that which pervades that which is existing now. And that we are advised to connect directly with and to worship in various forms, the present moment. So that is why in Hindu philosophy or mythology, we have been told that we should not worship Brahma in his creative principle. We definitely connect with and worship Brahma in the form of Vedas, and we connect and worship Brahma in the form of Omkara, the primordial sound, but we are warned not to worship Brahma in the creative principle or create a murti of the Prajapatis, because it is known to lead us down the path of excessive creation, which can be detrimental. And we have been asked to think of or connect with the dissolution principle or death in the background. Always have it, know that what is born has to die, but not obsess with it, not have it in our face. The only thing that we are encouraged to constantly connect with and worship, that is connect with, is the Vishnu principle, which is the sthiti principle, which is the sustenance, which in other words, the now, the present moment. So that is the reason, that is how we worship the three murti. Three is the three, murti are the forms in which we worship these principles. Please think about what we have talked today, and if you have any questions, comment, and I will try my best to address it. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel to inspire and encourage me to make more videos like this. And until we meet again, stay safe, and thank you.